Yeah. So I will say this: when I was in Medellin, there was a lot of Germans. There was a lot of Europeans and Canadians and stuff like that over there. But comparing it to Africa and Latin, because you gotta think it's just so much competition in Africa. But I was talking about it earlier. I appreciate that 10,000 peso super chat. Mark Thompson says, which country has the best pH balances by majority? We're gonna have to go with Brazil. Thank you for the super chat. Uh,
Hi guys. So I posted this poll yesterday and I mean, barely anyone voted on it. But for me, the most disgraceful thing Auston did was sending his minion Paul to attack Kesa's mom.
Her mom so stupid. Her mom had the audacity to tell her, go over there to Kenya, get what you want, get what you can, and get out of here. Like I told y'all, her mom was in her head the whole time. Told the woman, don't stay a night with him, but only go hang out with him in the daytime. And then when he had a conversation with her mom about she being just as Americanized as he was, her mom sent the message back. I got a screenshot. Don't worry about what my daughter doing. She's gonna be okay. She's gonna be successful and doing this YouTube shit. She don't need you to do YouTube. That's when I knew then it was all a setup.
Because maybe, and I'm almost sure it's not because I'm African, but I believe it is almost universal that when you end friendship, when you end relationships, you might, go after the person you had relationship with, but family is off limits, right? Family, especially parents are off limits. You could be as angry as you can be with the person you had a relationship with, but you do not go after their family. You do not go after their parents. I mean, I am so like for me, even if the parent came after me, I probably would go out of my way to avoid criticizing the parent, because that's how much parents are. Even even the Bible tells you, to respect your parents. So the fact that this guy went after Kesa's mom is, I think, the most disgraceful thing he did in Africa, because you would think he would only attack African girls. I mean, he shouldn't attack African girls. He shouldn't attack any African. But I mean, this guy is. I mean, he attacks. That's his behavior. He has to attack someone for his whole business to work, right? And we thought he would, limit his attacks to African girls, but he went after Kesa's mom, and and he didn't even go after her, right? Because he is such a coward. He didn't go after her himself. What he did is he used Paul, a very a truly disgraceful person, Mr. Powell. He used him to attack Kesa's mom. You know, the thing, I mean, I am already disgusted by them attacking the mom. But what made it even more what made me so angry was that when I found out the reason Kesa's mom got involved in this drama that Austin himself created is because Austin was texting her. It's not like, but because they made it look like, she was meddling in the relationship from the very start. But in reality, what happened is after Kesa left him, after Aston started, to send, a barrage of texts to the mom, and the mom was, responding the way, a normal person would do if some ridiculous, chaotic, or erratic person was sending them, ridiculous text message. So that is how she got involved. She didn't get involved because she wanted to meddle, but that's what they made her look like. So that part, I think, was the most disgraceful thing Austin did. That he wouldn't leave African parents alone is, I think, the worst thing he did. And I hope next time, I'm hoping that he doesn't return, because there is really no reason for him to return. He should stay wherever he is. He should stay, he's in some like Thailand, Bangkok right now. He should stay there. He shouldn't be returning. But if he returns, I hope African girls know that this is what they will be looking forward. Whenever they have a relationship with this guy, they should be looking forward for him, when they leave him, for him to attack their parents. So, and that Powell guy, and to find out that he was attacking Kesa's mom on Auston's behalf because he wanted some of Auston's subscribers. That's the mercenary behavior, and mercenaries are the lowest of the low, because mercenaries have absolutely no moral rules. They will do anything and everything for money, and they will hire themselves out to to the highest paying. Mercenaries are basically the real prostitutes, right? Because they have absolutely no moral values, and they will do anything for money. So Powell was a prostitute. He was prostituting himself out for some subscribers. Guys, I am at Starbucks, adding visual to my audio, and I just got the transcript for Powell's video. He actually calls Kesa's mom a pimp.
Cause her mom was operating like her mom was operating like a pimp. Now,
Well, how disgraceful. How disgraceful. Anyways, and then that was the worst thing for me. But people chose Auston spreading malicious rumor about Kesa having a sex tape was the worst thing he did in Africa, and that was actually my second worst thing for me, and I agree that was a really truly disgraceful thing. And what is the thing is that, well, for one thing, we could absolutely with almost 100% confidence say that the sex tape doesn't exist. I have said this over and over, because if the sex tape existed the way they're talking, like almost all of them are talking about it, if it existed the way the way they claim it does, we would have seen some some clip of it, right, from it. And we haven't had anyone who has seen the sex tape come and say, yeah, I have seen the sex tape and this is it. It's always someone who heard it from someone else, right? So we know that and it doesn't exist. And I'm almost sure that Auston knows it doesn't exist, but he continues to spread that totally disgraceful, totally disgusting rumor to this day. He was on a live like a few weeks ago, and he was talking about it.
You need to marry her. You need to do this and that. And I'm even the women that are on the videos are agreeing, like, they don't even know me. And then me and the woman might fall out. I don't fall out with all of them, but like we might fall out. And I'll be like, yeah, what happened to those guys that said, like, oh, I've been all around the world. I was in the military. This is a good woman. You need to wife her. And then there's a video that comes out. She's getting nutted on the face. So we need to do it. We need to.
I didn't see that one coming.
So he hasn't stopped, spreading that malicious rumor, and he still, is trying to destroy her image, her reputation. The great thing is that as time passes, we realize the true the one with bad reputation, who behaved badly during the whatever relationship they had, was him, not her. So it doesn't seem to be working, but but he continues to spread that malicious rumors, because let me tell you guys something. From watching these people for almost the last 3 months, I realized that when the passport bros go out on a date, the person they are trying to impress is not their date. It's not the women that they are with that they are trying to impress. They are trying to impress other passport bros. And I think when Austin was dating, and I'm using dating very loosely, going out with Kesa. I mean, Kesa is a very beautiful girl, so he was impressing a lot of his fellow passport bros. Now that she had dumped him, and he lost, the respect he had from all those passport bros, because he was with, this really hot girl. He is trying to destroy her reputation in their, in the eyes of the passport bros, because he doesn't want them to think that, he lost a good thing. So I think he is going to continue to spread this malicious rumor, to spread other, to say other bad things about her. He hasn't stopped talking about her. It's so ridiculous. I mean, they were together for like less than a week, but he still talks about her. He still talks about her in the negative to this day, and to the point that he doesn't even use her name. And that tells you how much he hates her, like, the passion with which he hates her, to the point that her name even causes him sadness, like, causes him probably not sadness, anger.
You guys seen with the last chick that wanted to use me just to boost her. You seen what happened to her. It's over with now. Her career is over with. Let's use the Rwandan chick for example, right?
So this guy is going to continue to try to destroy her, her reputation, probably as long as he could, and I don't know if he would stop now that he is in Bangkok, in Thailand. I don't even know if he will stop, because it looks like he is still just obsessed with her. He cannot stop talking, attacking her. She had moved on. She barely talks about him. She only talked about him once, because people kept on asking her what happened during the relationship. But this guy, he will not stop, talking about her, spreading that malicious rumor, just because he wants his fellow horny, misogynistic passport bros to know that she was not, all that. Mm. But let's be honest, Kesa was very, very important for his channel, right? Because before Kesa came to the channel, his channel was like aimless, like, he does this thing one day, and then he abandons it, and then he does something else the next day. But Kesa came on the channel, and that she gave the channel a storyline, and a lot of people were tuning in to watch their relationship. So when she left him, he became resentful, because she was really good for him and for his channel. And he became resentful. He became mean. I mean, he has always been mean, but he became meaner. He started attacking African girls, and every time she posts videos, he would come, and attack. He gets all angry, and then attacks other African girls. So that guy is just it's good now that he had left Africa. And the great thing is that the African girls that he, and I'm using Africa very loosely, he is going to be dating in Bangkok may not be the African, like, I'm okay like with the kind of African girls he's dating. That's not even like my problem there. And then people chose saying African girls were below his standard as the second worst thing he did. He said, I have that whole thing probably was a result of Kesa putting out a video, looking nice and talking, and then he got angry, and then took his anger out on black African girls. But that being said, I have always said that this guy doesn't like black girls, so I'm not surprised that he thought African girls were a downgrade. But you would think he would at least have the decency to wait until he left the continent before he starts attacking Africa. But this guy is a white worshiper. He looks down on on black people, especially black black women. So I'm not surprised that he didn't wait until he left Africa before he starts attacking Africa. But let me tell you guys something. The white worshipping is a major part of the whole passport bro movement. I have been listening to Razor Race is some passport bro guy who does a lot of lives, and he had a lot of passport pros, black passport pros on his show, talking about how the Colombian girls were dragging them with scopolamine, and they would be out for 24 hours and wake up to find that their house has been robbed, they have been kidnapped, da, da, da. But all of them said that even with being dragged, kidnapped, and robbed, they will still go back to Colombia. They will never stop going to Colombia. But when African vendors, African business people charge this man $2 extra, they said that is too much, that they will never go back to to Africa because of that. They claim that they're being scammed, like being overcharged $2 would prevent them from wanting to go to Africa. So it tells you that they do not treat Africans and other African nations and other nations the same, because these people are white worshippers. When you value whiteness over blackness, that's how you behave towards Africans, and their hatred to Africa and Africans comes from their own hatred for blackness. So I am not surprised that this Auston doesn't like Africa or Africans, because Auston doesn't like black girls. I mean, it's he has been going around talking about degrading black American women all over Africa, all over all over South Africa, South America. So he has absolutely no love for black people. I mean, black women. So I'm not surprised that he decided to attack them while he is still in to attack African girls while he's still in their continent. So the third one that people chose was saying Africans were not as beautiful as naturally beautiful as Brazilian girls.
Now, who looks the best naturally? I'm definitely gonna have to go with Latin America first. When I was in Brazil, when I was in Colombia, I say like 90% of the women I talked to in those countries did not use makeup. In Africa, you guys know that you can't say that.
When he said that, on that, he had a live, that live was basically him um, trying to elevate Brazilian girls over African girls. I mean, the Asian girls were just, thrown in there so that he's not accused of being, degrading African girls. But the whole thing, the aim of that whole live was, to elevate Brazilian girls over African girls. And he compared them on a lot of categories, and on almost every freaking category, Brazilian women came on above African girls. So there was, to be honest, I mean, this guy is a white worshiper, and white worshippers of course he's going to to say Brazilian girls were better than African girls. But he said that Brazilian girls were naturally beautiful, African girls were not. Like, and I mean, unless you are whitewashed like this guy is, that's absolutely not true. Brazil is the world's capital of plastic surgery. Brazilians spend so much money on beauty stuff, on makeup, on plastic surgery. They do a lot of enhancement. There is very little natural about the Brazilian beauty. So to say that Africans who spend very little on but plastic surgery. I don't even know, there is that, that many plastic surgeons in Africa. To say that, Africans are, not African girls are not naturally beautiful like Brazilian girls. Please, no. It's just, that's something that comes from a colonized mind, which, Austin has. So that's what I wanted to say. And, this is not related to, to this video, but someone was talking about, beta Israels in Ethiopia, and they said, Ethiopians are, the Jews in Ethiopia are not beta Israel because there is no alpha Israel. No, it has absolutely nothing to do with, alpha, beta, or whatever other Greek letter. And the Ethiopian Jews are not called Beta Israel. They're called Beta. Beta, which means, Bet means, house. Beta Israel, which means, the house of Israel. So it has absolutely nothing to do with the Greek letters. The other thing I wanted to say, yeah, that's, the other thing is that, like I said, I will not be making videos about, Auston any longer, because unless he went out of his way to attack African girls, which I hope he doesn't, because there is absolutely no reason to do it. And I don't even think he should be praising African girls. He should just, Africa should be out, should not be in his vocabulary right now. But it would, and I think right now he is like in a transition, because the viewers he has right now are, the ones that have been following him is in Africa as well. So until he gets back those, anti-black women who left his viewership when he started, posting from Africa, until he gets those viewers back, I think he probably would be like still praising the African girls. And it's fake. The whole praise is fake. But hopefully, it would be just, for a few more days, for a few weeks, and then, he will just focus on Thai girls and, European girls, and hopefully he will never come, return to Africa, because he doesn't need to. Anyways, let me know what you think. Thank you. Bye bye.